as we come online, I was contemplating just not saying anything for a little while, and make Sarah think that she wasn't like smiling at us. Uh, she was thinking that maybe her ability to grin widely might have been a little bit curtailed because she is tired.
That's our cue. Is when I stay on camera like this, and then as soon as like the transition happens, I smile real big, and that's the cue. But today I kind of did a
yes.
So I'm cranky.
It was good though. No, it was plain to see, So, that nat 20 is for you, Rem.
Oh, thank you, Mama Bird. I'll here.
So.
That looks painful. That looks painful.
That's just for you, Mama Bird.
The dogs didn't like it.
Nope.
They're like, what is that? What are you doing? All right, so let's. All right, cool. So hey, everybody, it is Sunday. We're going to run another session of Like Clockwork, and we're gonna get around the circle quickly so that we can pick up and resolve the biggest Kickstarter of the entire campaign so far. Did I say Kickstarter? Cliffhanger. Yeah. The biggest cliffhanger of the entire campaign so far. We're always talking about Kickstarters and stuff. So,
I'm running my currently biggest Kickstarter of.
Oh my God, millions and millions. But we're gonna go around and we're gonna start with Sin. What's up? How's everything going?
Hello, hi, howdy, salutations. Things are going good. I ran my first Cyberpunk streamed episode. It was really cool, full of AI machines, just like the car that we're about to encounter, and I can't wait to find out his name.
Excellent. Moving from Sin's box there in the center to the right on our screen is Joey. Hello, Joey.
What's up? How are you, Danny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. I just hate that you always have to wait till the end to say how you're doing. But
yeah,
Yeah, Joey's doing good. Cool Sunday. I did this weird thing where I woke up and then just went straight to the gym, and that was very off cycle for me. But it had that good mood all day. So we out here. Good time.
Good time. All right. Moving on is Elizabeth. Hello.
Hello. I've just been busy doing streamathon prep and playing games and editing videos and just the normal stuff. Sorry if you heard that motorcycle just ride by. It's really loud, and I'm sorry.
That was your motorcycle, not mine?
Okay. Yeah,
not mine.
I also have a motorcycle that comes up and down my street like 3 times a day, and I never know.
We all have motorcycles.
They have engine issues because it's very loud. It rattles my windows, and I hate it very much.
So I have a great appreciation for the video editing. I'm editing videos right now for the Alien RPG that I ran for some folks, like Hello Operator there in the chat. And we recorded it, but we didn't stream it. And what I did was, what I'm doing is I'm taking it all in Premiere and I'm like making a thing out of it. And it's one of those situations where like I discovered I could, and I didn't stop to ask myself if I should. When it comes to like things I'm doing and adding into it. So like I'm cutting out all the silences, like awkward silences. I'm trying to cut out stuff where like there's page turny stuff, and I'm adding like animation stuff for when each character is talking.
Oh, you hate yourself.
I do, because there's 7 sessions of this that I'm gonna go through. But I'm learning how to use Premiere.
That's what I do when I do the podcast editing. I take out like all the awkward pauses and like the ums, which made me realize how many times I say because it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Elizabeth, you should do a search. You're at this point anyway with your editing. There is a way in Premiere to identify where the silences are. And even like find the breaths and eliminate them. So you should find out how to do that, and that will save you a lot of time.
Premiere or in Reaper?
Oh, I
Because I
don't.
can do it in Reaper.
I'm sure it's
There's
on
two
YouTube
ways.
and Reaper.
There's two ways. One is directly in Premiere with a plugin, so you will have to get a third-party plugin to do it.
Okay.
Or you can load the video into Audition. It's only going to take the sound, and you don't actually cut the silences. You do everything to find the silences. It sets the markers, and then you can take those markers and copy them into Premiere as
Okay.
markers. And
So
then
yeah, I just do it for podcast, and now that you mentioned it, Sarah, I wish you would have told Sarah to plug her ears because now she's gonna want me to do it for the videos. I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I'm just teasing.
When I figure it out, I will share that information. Yes.
Please do,
So-
because I am actually interested.
That's right. Hey, we do all the things, Riapel. We make sure like we have our game, but we also, people want to stream and they might want to know some of the things that vex us. But correct, yes. Let us move on to John. What is up?
Hi. So many things are up, and it's going to be a super exciting week here at REM. By the way, Isabeth, you did miss one thing, because you're not just editing videos, you're also in videos. You were in some sort of training video for battle something or other, some kind of. You were in a video that we posted from
Not
a
in.
video from Catalyst,
She
right?
worked on it.
In? Oh. I thought you
Yeah,
were in the
I
video.
worked on it.
Yep,
Yeah, I
she
worked.
was an
Okay.
editor. Speaking of editing,
I dreamed that you were in the video then. It's a super exciting week here at REM, an exciting week for me personally. On Monday, Perno Albany is considering its trajectory in discovering what it means to have new places of power on Monday. Tuesday is the series premiere of Hellslayer, which is Mr. Johnson's game that he'll be running on Tuesdays. Now that our Shadowrun Tuesday Chicago mission stuff, whatever's happening post that, is moving on to the Shadowcasters Network YouTube, which is super exciting. I'm looking forward to Hellslayer. I'm going to have to watch it after because I have a thing on Tuesday nights that I do and the Tuesdays it's going to be on. Wednesday is a nice little break day for me personally, going to a very busy weekend. So instead of talking about what's happening on REM on Wednesday, I was talking about myself. I was accepted into an MFA program, as most of you know, and are celebrating with me on, and I appreciate that because it takes a village to make a successful artistic endeavor. And I'm having, for the month of April, a baked good fundraiser to offset the moving costs to get to Chicago because it's very expensive to move across the country, as I'm finding out. And so it's going to be like a virtual $5 per ticket entry thing. And I'm going to do that big Wheel of Names thing at the end of the month after the streamathon. And so if you're not part of the Discord, you can find out all the information about that on the Discord. There's a cute little picture of a red velvet cupcake, but I will make you anything that you want that I can ship to you as long as you're in the United States. If that does not sound like your jam, I am going to be doing a May secret GMing table giveaway where you can basically I'm going to auction off seats at a table for a secret one-time only game for only the people that bid the highest, which I will talk about more as we get closer to May. Thursday is very exciting because for Gen Con TV, the one-shot show, I am going to be running a Buffy the Vampire Slayer one-shot. I've never done the cinematic unit system, so I'm very excited about it. I've been learning a lot about it, and I'm super excited to live my Buffy realness. On Friday, we are continuing the Buffy Mayhem because we're doing a Buffy the Vampire Slayer Friday night REM chat where we're going to talk about how Buffy influenced us. And there are a couple of people that are on stream here that that are going to be coming to talk about Buffy, and I'm very excited about that. And then on Saturday is going to be the day that the signups for the Streamathon players closes. So if you're thinking about it, some of the games are already full, but some of them are still looking for players. And so that casting call closes this upcoming Saturday, which seems so far away, but is so much closer than you think. And then I'm right back here on Sunday for like Clockwork to do a lot of things and cause a lot of mayhem in Casta Need because Casta needs a lot of mayhem. So,
Wow.
was
You
hoping she was
know,
tired enough that she would. I was hoping she was tired enough that she wouldn't hear it. It wouldn't
my mood
understand.
just sank more.
And with that, we segue into Rem. Hello.
It has ruined it. It's ruined. Ruined.
Yeah, that was important notes.
Hi guys, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I had a quite a week, and Sunday is my crash day usually, and I just did not crash hard enough before I started working again. Things are going well, just busy. So I will be traveling every month. At the end of this month now, my trip got extended because I'm going to Toronto for about almost a week to live stream the end of the campaign. I leave next week for that. The end of the BattleTech campaign, which has now crossed $5.25 million, which is just amazing. But it's really exciting. It's just a lot of updating FAQs and making new graphics and responding to a lot of questions, and especially when I'm not very familiar with BattleTech. A lot of the questions are ones that I have to get answered from other people. So just a lot of streaming, a lot of stuff. And then I'm heading to Gamma in Reno. And for Rem, I'm really excited about the streamathon, and really like John and Elizabeth, who are here on stream, and a few other people that have been helping with it as well. Like, they planned it all without me. Like, I went to one meeting, was like, yeah, you guys are on track, and you're in charge. If it's gonna happen, it's up to you. And it's been flawless. So really proud of them, and excited to see how it goes, and hopefully get a chance to play if I'm back from Reno by then. So I think that's it. I feel like there's probably more I should say and talk about, but I'm just so blank right now. I'm very sleepy.
I do keep forgetting to mention Alternate Archives. If you like the Wild West, or you like zombie ghost stories, Alternate Archives right now is doing Deadlands from original box set, I think. But so Alternate Archives is going full cowboy for your Friday mornings if you have not been listening thus far.
Indeed. All right. Well, with that, I'm here. I'm good. I am, doing this. I am working on this video editing for a campaign that I ran of Alien, which is a great time. And yeah, other than that, I think we are ready to get into this game and learn the name. So, with that, let's get into it because it's about that time. Okay, so when we last left off last week, the group had all kind of gone their separate ways to do their separate things. Some of them went to the university. There were a couple of items that they wanted to look into. Rojelio went to check out the truck. Panabon and Dru went to go see if the local lords of organized crime might be hanging out at the Bumbling Cat as they were first found. let's see. Lex went to go speak to the Sunstar and seemed quite familiar with the Sunstar in that conversation. And I think that's everybody. And we left off as Rogelio was a little bit like, oh, this Flint guy is here. Uh, Flint guy was making Rogelio nervous because of his command of machinery and machines. But um, but he did receive the vehicle. They did load it up with a little bit of Nazores to sort of fuel it. Um, it is a crank vehicle, but the Nazores helps it go further for longer. And then Rogelio went to practice driving. And as Rogelio was practicing driving, he cast Speak with Machines because I so foolishly said, yeah, Speak with Animals could just be Speak with Machines for you. So that happened, and then Rogelio asked the truck, what is your name?
Welcome to the consequences of your own actions.
The biggest Kickstarter ever.
Biggest Kickstarter ever, right here. So, as you're driving,
because you have to kick it to start it. Is it?
Boom, good job.
Is it? Did I do it right?
No, you now you're messing it up. You did it perfect, but now you are messing it up.
Good. I want it messed up terribly.
Okay. The vehicle, as you are driving, you ask it, it actually evinces some surprise at being addressed directly. And it takes several moments. And then finally, it responds with a name that sounds like gears grinding, devices turning and whirling, and springs sproinging. Is that sproinging? Yes. But it translates directly into carry big lots. Because as a truck, it carries big lots, lots of stuff, big, lots of stuff. Carry big lots. That is the name of the truck. What is your name? It asks in a series of gears spinning and wheels humming.
Well, I'm also speaking in gears spinning, springs springing, and so on. So I guess just if anybody were listening in, it's just a bunch of machine sounds like the car's overheating.
Yes.
Okay. I say for now, my name's Rogelio, and don't worry, if you ever wanted to change it from Carrie, I've heard you can do that. But Carrie, you're being brought into a very protective family. So I fashion yourself very lucky. When I was first perceived into this world, however you might want to say that, they actually fought people on my behalf. I didn't even know these people yet. I'm sure they'll do the same for you.
That is good. I only know this place, and if I must go far out, that is scary. I'm glad you're my friend.
Tell me, Carrie, do you ride to battle or for peace? Because I was told that I have to find my way in life, and I need to share yours with the group as well.
What is a battle?
It's like machines breaking each other.
Why?
Exactly. I have no idea. They try to explain it in a lot of different books, and it never makes sense.
That sounds mean.
It is very mean, Carrie. And that's why
I
I know
don't.
if you would stand against that.
I don't ride for battle. What is peace?
Peace is when that's not happening.
That's way better. I ride for peace.
Gotcha, Carrie. I'll tell your story to the others.
I don't want any battle. Battle sounds mean and scary.
And I will do my best to avoid it for you.
Okay. When we go outside, will we maybe find a battle?
Oh, I hope not. We ride for peace here, Carrie.
Also,
We're just
I
doing some
hope
laps
not.
around the track.
Yes, on the track of peace. Okay.
Me and Carrie bond.
Yes, there is bonding. So, as Carrie and Rogelio bond, and with the ability to speak with Carrie, Rogelio actually learns the best ways to drive the vehicle. We take ourselves back to Easthome, the district of Easthome, where Panabon and Dru are heading to the Bumbling Cat. Muted, John.
I was going to go, yes, Panabon is my name, except for days on which Panabon is not my name.
I see. Any discussion as you're heading there, or is it a quiet trip?
Dru probably asks, so what exactly are you hoping to find out by visiting him again?
So Panabon is answering, but Panabon is also, unless you know thieves can't, Panabon is aimlessly just tapping a coin gently in the car as they're in the SkyTrain. No reason, just absentmindedly, just fidgeting a little bit. Totally doesn't mean anything in code unless you can read thieves can't, which if you can, you should totally tell Panabon if you can read thieves can't.
I don't think I want. I don't think I want to. I think I'm going to keep that a mystery.
Okay, good to know. Just double checking. So Panabon is going to look over at Dru and go, well, I mean, I kind of want to get a beat on if they knew what's his name was going to be coming to town, but also I just kind of want to break the system. So I'm going to have some fun today. I haven't gotten to have fun in a little while.
Okay.
Dru's a little nervous hearing that.
No one's going to get stabbed. Let me rephrase that. I'm not going to stab anyone physically.
All right, that does not make me feel any better. What exactly should I be expecting? Just so I know. Are we getting arrested today, or should I have gone with Shaelune and Perunyia?
Oh, please. If the way they organize themselves in this town, arresting will be like getting out of a wet paper bag. It'll be fine. No one's getting arrested. Probably. Yeah, gonna go with no. I believe in being optimistic in the face of unknown odds.
All right.
I mean, I almost died once this year. What's the chance it's going to happen? No, I almost died twice this past year. What's the chance? 3 times. I almost died, 4 times. I almost died 4 times this past year. What's the chance that it's going to happen again?
Is it too late to go with the other group?
You're not the first person to say that to me. How strange. Oh, one of those times was Shaelune almost murdering me, but I'll tell you about that later some other time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was a jail thing, and like she was not having a good time. And I went to spring her because I felt bad. And then she was like, blah, here's fire everywhere. And I was like, please don't murder me. And, it's a whole thing.
All right. Makes a note. Do not get on Shaylune's bad side again. Murder happens.
Do not incriminate Shaelune. Shaelune doesn't like being incriminated.
I don't think anybody really likes being incriminated.
I mean, to be fair, though, if she hadn't like screamed and notified guards that somebody was being stabbed, probably would have turned out differently. But like, when you make noise and you say, help, there's a murder happening, people like find out murder has happened. It's a whole thing.
I will try to refrain from screaming and alerting the authorities when you're stabbing somebody.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, you can. I mean, I'm
No,
not going to
it
stop you. It's, everyone has like freedom to do what they wish. It's whatever happens after you do what you wish is the thing, really.
just can you like give me a sign that you're gonna stab somebody so I can like turn my back and not
Yeah, I don't
be a
intend on
witness?
stabbing anyone today necessarily.
Okay. Well,
Especially
can
not at like a cat cafe. It seems like a cheerful place.
yeah, that seems like a bad place to stab somebody. But really, can you like give me a warning sign or something? Just in case, because I don't want to witness anything like that. I,
Mm,
I'm delicate, and
yeah,
I don't want to witness murder.
it's probably better than when Rojelio got woken up because like I just like threw a dagger and it sliced through a guy's neck and like then all the other people were like, "Ah, oh, he's dead," and I'm like, his head could have stayed attached for like 5 more seconds. It didn't need to like fall off completely right away. I'm sorry, I think I'm talking a lot. I think I had too much coffee this morning in the hotel.
No, it's fine. It's fine, really. I don't mind. She's really like thinking, I should have went with the other group at this point.
Yes. Well, with that, you do arrive to the Bumbling Cat, where you see the quaint wooden sign outside of the cat awkwardly wrapped around the mug. There does seem to be a few people inside, as it is morning, mid-morning, right about now.
Would you like a coffee or are those cat? Is that cat bread? Oh, they have cat shaped bread. How cute! I think I might get some cat bread.
That coffee sounds delightful.
Yes. And a side of murder. No, just kidding. Maybe.
Just kidding, maybe. I love it. All right, so stepping inside, there is one individual behind the bar, sort of a mature woman. She is modestly dressed. Her hair is up. She has an apron on and has been creating and serving teas for the various
Lovely.
patrons.
Fabulous. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good noon. What time is it? Is it still morning?
It is morning. Good morning.
Wonderful. Great.
Yeah. How may I help you?
A couple of your finest teas and one of those adorable little cat breads you got in there.
Oh, do you prefer a black tea or one of the house specialties?
Yeah, whatever you like. I'm kind of just in town. I'm gonna pause for impact.
For impact.
For impact.
Sorry, my Discord freaked out again.
It does that.
Sorry.
I'm doing I'm a travel writer. I'm doing a segment on cast in need, and I'm just visiting all the cafes and having some treats. And so yeah, some whatever kind of teas you like, and some of that cat bread. I'm just gonna soak in some of the local culture.
Yeah. Lovely. I'll have the cat bread. Do you want it heated?
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. And I'll bring you two of our specialty teas named for the store, the Bumbling Cat. I'll be right back with those.
Thank you.
And she turns to make your teas, and then as she turns, she then spins back around and says, sit anywhere you like, and we'll bring those right out.
Thank you so much. And as I'm talking, I'm still tapping my coin in Thieves' Cant. Just being like, hello, fellow thieves.
All right. As you are tapping and making your various symbols and hand gestures and the like, you find a seat and settle in for a moment. Several moments pass before your tea is brought out. Is there anything else I can get for you? She sets the plate down also between you. There's a knife, and there's enough bread for you to kind of slice off pieces of warm bread.
Yeah, I'm curious about Castanede. I came in. I've seen some of Battle of LeBron. It was at the Hanging Gardens or Glass Gardens, some kind of gardens
Hmm.
a few days ago. Really pretty. Is there anything else in Castanede kind of worth seeing? Places you'd recommend people?
Oh, I mean, I suppose there's lots of places in Castanede that visitors would really enjoy. I would say that the precipice is kind of a bit of a marvel. The precipice being the western edge where the airfield is and where all the airships kind of line up. It's the cliff, and you all were there for a couple of the fights. The university is world renowned, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know what sort of things you might be interested in. Um, there are other gardens and parks throughout the city. Uh,
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, I just like to ask people that live and move through a space where they like to go. If there are any arcades or playhouses you like or anything like that. Artsy stuff always does well in the travel books. People love going to see art.
Yeah, I've of course. I don't know where you're from, so I don't imagine that there is or isn't theater there. Theater is not something that I necessarily am a patron of myself, but uh, I've heard good things.
Okay, look, I'm looking forward to this bread. So I always love when things look like things. So I'm looking forward to trying this bread. So thank you so much for this lovely repast. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And if you need anything else, feel free to come up to the counter and ask.
Thank you.
So with that, she steps away. The tea is there. The bread is there. Both the bread, the tea actually goes really well with the bread. There's a sort of a, if you had to make a guess, there's a sort of like a minty uh, kind of taste to it with a citrus undertone, both in the bread, but it's not sweet, um, and in the tea itself. The tea is also seems like it's a black tea.
This would be great with one of those lizards from Merakadashta. Love those little lizards.
Lizard on a stick.
It did feel weird eating those in front of Perunyia, though. They never really clarified if they were like a related thing or not. No, I never did ask. What were you? I know that you do busking. You do a lot of fabulous music. Were you like doing a concert in Merakadashta? Were you just kind of hanging out there for a little while? It was a great little town, very canyony, and you can just like throw yourself off the side of a building with a rope attached to you and lie and tell people you're in a rappelling club.
Well, that I didn't experience that. I was there for, I guess you could say I was there for work.
Hmm. They have because I did some stuff with some of the theater groups there. Did they have a lot of well, I guess they wouldn't call them saloons, would they? Did they have a lot of like taverns and places for you to play at, or were you just near apple carts getting randomly attacked by things? Because we had that happen while we were there. We didn't cause I didn't cause the attacks, but things were just wild in that town for a little bit. So
Again, I didn't experience anything like that. I just worked a lot. There was a tavern that hired me, and I performed there for a little bit, but really, I was just kind of passing through.
I like to be in there. Yeah, so I find it really interesting that the person that attacked the gardens was from the town we just left. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that. I don't know how much of the vast conspiracy you've like internalized, but out of all the people to attack us, that was one of the more interesting ones.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. I guess I don't know. The whole experience was weird. Uh, the whole them trying to hire Perunyia to do the fights and that whole situation. I don't know. I didn't expect them to come and attack anybody, but I wasn't
Mm.
surprised once it happened.
I mean, and this probably wasn't my fault this time, which is kind of refreshing. It might have been my fault though a little bit, but that's just because of the thing that happened. But that's not important. We're not here to talk about me, so it's fine.
Do you looking around? Do we see the person that we're here to talk to?
You do not see necessarily the man that you sat down with the other night.
Okay.
There does not seem to be, again, it's the morning. There doesn't seem to be many other people. A few of the guests are kind of there. No one seems to be paying much attention to you.
If they don't show up in a couple of hours, I'm also just willing to walk around town for a little bit. To be honest, it's just kind of nice sometimes to have a day off. Like, even if someone tries to mug me, that's still kind of refreshing because that's so normy. No one's trying to, like, throw a fireball at me. You know, just have a day to, like, be in the city.
All right. I don't have anything else to do. I think that sounds fun.
Also, if we can bring down the system from the inside. That's the dream right there.
She just takes a sip of her tea very slowly and kind of averts her eyes.
All right. With that, we'll move back to the university as Dru and Panabon sit for a couple of hours to see if anyone stops in. The two grad students are kind of waiting as Perunyia has retrieved the blade from the device. And she is it with somewhat contemplative look upon her face. There is a bit of an awkward silence. And then one of the grad students kind of clears her throat. Did you say there was a second item?
After hugging Perunia, I go, "Oh, yeah, right here," and hand over the box with the tiara in it.
Right. She opens it up.
Poison tiara of death.
This is a beautiful piece of jewelry. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. She kind of shows it off to the other grad student. He kind of shakes his head. Okay, well, wow. And they place it, they take it out of the box. Nobody dies upon handling it. They place it onto the legend lore machine. One of the grad students goes and grabs another small stone of Nazoris to power the machine. And once again, as they power it up, the machine does start to give off this sort of vision of what's going on. The first thing that comes to mind as you watch it, as everyone watches it, is there is a name associated with this item. It is Trikostia's crown. That is, if anyone's writing this down, Trekoshtia, Trikostia.
One more time.
Trekoshtia, Trikostia's crown.
Got it.
And you watch initially as you see as sort of like it's sort of misty in the vision, and they swirl about and they separate as you witness the creation of this item. If someone were to ask you the race of the creators, you would say that they're elves. Their build, their features, the ears, all remind you of Rosalia. But their skin color is more of a pale blue shade, maybe like a moonlight shade. So very different. And the creator, you get a sense that the creator, among others, is Trikostia themselves. It switches to a scene of this same mage walking in gardens, just beautiful gardens of everything seems shaped from vines and trees. Tables, even furniture in the garden are grown. They appear to have been grown and shaped. The sense is that this is thousands of years ago, pre-calamity, pre-cataclysm. It switches then to scenes of war, of battle and fighting. It is a war of humanity versus elves. The sense you get is that of humans trying to invade and take lands from the elves. This is years, this is hundreds of years, this is and the mage Trikostia is involved in all of this. Elves, if you didn't think it before, this kind of proves to you how long-lived elves are. There is a shifting, and then there is a large chamber. There are humans and elves meeting in this chamber. There's arguing, there is discussion. As kind of this vision pans up, you see that the table itself has very similar to the swan symbol that was on Aegis's shield. As these humans and these elves discuss, argue, speak. And what eventually happens is that there are it feels like some humans have an accord with the elves, others refuse. And as everything shifts, you see that the elf Trikostia is sitting in another location, a beautifully appointed open air sort of palatial space, and he stands in front of a woman sitting on a throne is the only way to describe it, just from its placement. The seat itself is not ostentatious, but its placement within the space defines it. And she is listening eagerly as he speaks to her. Again, you see the symbol of the swan kind of on either side of her as he speaks, and she nods in agreement. Hard to say what kind of comes from that as things change again. And this time, Trikostia is sitting in a room with several other men, women, a few elves, and they appear to be discussing something with a lot of zeal and animation. It is hard to say exactly what is going on with them, but that swaps out, and the elf Trikostia stays but everything else kind of sweeps away, and then sweeping back in, it's replaced by just elves, a council of elves, and he is pleading with them passionately about something. Whatever it is, they seem unmoved. It then shows Trikoshia kind of elevate up onto that appears to be a high plateau on a mountaintop, perhaps, with several other mages, human mages, and they are obviously in the midst of casting some sort of perhaps ritual spell. As they are casting this spell, you get a sense of like a schism, as something as like the vision is kind of in these swirling mists, and something like strikes down and parts the two sides, and then everything falls into darkness. It sits that way for a few moments, long enough that you're almost like, is that it? Is that the end of the vision? When the mists kind of reset themselves, light enters in, and you see as if you're in a box and someone has opened it from the outside, and there is a human face, grubby on the sides, dirt smudged. They turn back and yell. There's a lot of excitement as the box is carried out of wherever this location is. There's darkness again. Then you see a scene where there is a human king, a royalty. You can tell he's royalty. And he obviously looks to be Daenang, Daewol from the continent of Daenang. And he is presenting this crown to a man dressed in full robes with a mask, who is accepting this from him. You then see that this crown is kind of passed down in this family of men in robes, men and women in robes with the mask, until there is a moment, maybe two generations later, where this person in the robes, you see them approaching the royalty at the time, the next like generation down, in their sleep, and you realize you're witnessing the assassination of the nobility across Daenang as the Shan basically took over hundreds of years ago. The crown is mostly set aside. Then you get a sense of life as you realize you have moved up almost to present day, when magic refloods the earth and the crown is revitalized. It travels then, and eventually, and you see the Sunstar holding it, or you assume it's the Sunstar. You get a sense that it is, but the mask and the robes. And then it swirls around, and you see that it is being passed over to, you see yourselves. It is passed over to you. You also, in the legend lore, get a sense of its abilities and its powers. Essentially the strengthening of magic from the person casting. With that, everything fades away. There goes my motorcycle. Everything fades away. And as that does, one of the gradsons says, that's a piece of history right there.
Indeed. So I'm still confused on the sense of what it does.
Very literally, mechanically, what this item does is it adds +1 to your spellcasting attack roll. It increases your spellcasting DC by 1, and it allows you to upcast a spell for free. Any spell that you can cast, you can upcast it by 1.
Okay.
So that means you can cast, like right now you can cast 4th level spells. You can upcast a spell that you cast from your 4th level repertoire as a 5th level spell.
Right.
You don't get 5th level spells. You don't get any new
Yeah.
spells, but you can upcast one of the spells that you have.
Wow.
And that's once a day.
Wow. I put it away in the box for now. Yeah, and I'll kind of quietly say to the others, if it's all right with you, I'd like to try this again on a different, perhaps tomorrow, and I'd like to cast comprehend languages so that I can.
So there is no sound.
Oh, there's no sound. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, thank you both. That's all I think for today. Perunyia, I'll be going to the stacks. If you're welcome to join me if you have any interest whatsoever.
She just mentions she'll think about it for the moment, as she seems to still be sort of taken aback by everything that she had seen. And with that, we'll move momentarily over to Sin. What is Lex doing?
Lex is off to find Shaelune actually to let her know about the research proposal.
Okay, that's easy enough. And so that kind of touches on everybody real quick. So what we're going to do is 8:56. We'll take our 10-minute break here. And when we get back, I believe Alex will be with us, and we will carry on from there. So see everybody in 10 minutes. Is what? Hi. All right. We all did that thing where that took a lot longer than we thought. When 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes or even more. But that's okay. That's what we do. And we will come on in and let's return momentarily to John, to Dru and Panabon.
That's me, except for when it's not.
It seems like nobody has entered that, or at least the person you're looking for has not entered. However, as you are considering leaving, that door does open, and in walks one of the young men that you recall being part of that group that had walked with you that first night to meet with Wallace. He doesn't appear to notice you quite at first as he approaches the counter, where he is greeted by name, Percy, as the woman says, "Oh, hi, Percy. What can I get for you?" And he rattles off an order really quickly. And she's like, "Oh, yep, absolutely. I will be right out with that." And she turns. She doesn't tell him to take a seat or anything, and he seems to kind of just be standing there as if he's going to wait for her to bring it to him.
Is it a big order? Like, does it seem like he's getting a bunch of stuff to take back to people?
No, it's just a single tea and a little piece of bread that some sort of pastry bread.
Okay. I thought maybe he was going to be able to lead us back to Wallace.
I mean, I guess I could take my mayhem to go, but could just follow him if he doesn't notice that we're there. That would be fun.
I mean, we can try to follow him if you want.
I mean, I would be following, but also with like, if he catches me, I'd be like, "Oh no, you've caught me!" But like, also it'd be fun to like wherever he goes, we're just like right there behind a door or something. Hilarious. Perunyia doesn't like when I do that though. She gets very jumpy about that when I do that.
I guess we're gonna see if he notices us, and if not, we're gonna follow him.
Okay. So as he gets his things and turns to leave, you wait a couple of moments and then head out the door, attempting to follow. He is just walking down the street, not a care in the world, it appears. Go ahead for the two of you and give me stealth, but
This is way better than going shopping for supplies for when we're going out in the wilderness. Who wants to be responsible?
yeah. Yeah, just give me stealth.
Please roll. Please? Oh.
All right. The two of you start to follow, and we'll come back to that in a moment. Alex, so before the break, Shaelune had them put on the crown. Generally, what you got out of that is elves made the crown. The elf who owned the crown prior to the cataclysm was involved in lots of stuff. Some stuff that might have had to do with Nipoe. After the cataclysm, it was locked away until eventually it was like dug up by humans who eventually it got in the hands of one of the dynasty's kings, who gifted it to their royal advisor, a Jean human. And then there was witnessing the time when the Jean actually decided that the royal dynasties were not really capable of ruling Denong without violence, and so they did a violence to them to basically take over as the rulers of Denong. And then eventually the crown came to be in Shaelune's possession now. No indication that there is anything nefarious about the item itself, and it does have some abilities that would be useful. After that, Shaelune was like, decided to go maybe to the stacks and asked if you wanted to go with. And that brings us kind of up to speed with where you're at.
Did I say yes?
You didn't say yes. You didn't say no.
I definitely would have tried to make excuses to go see the car if possible, because yeah, I feel like I might be more useful over there. The ground vehicle, ground ship, I believe. Yeah, ground ship.
I love how we all set out with different groups, and now we're all switching and rotating groups.
All right. So yeah, Perunyia says she wants to go see the ground ship instead, leaving you to do research on your own.
Learn more spells.
Steal more books.
I haven't spent all the gold yet.
Yeah.
Or the secret gold.
I feel like Shaelune is spending the gold that we haven't earned yet. I'm only slightly concerned.
No, I'm spending what I had. I just need you to earn it back.
Of your money.
Don't worry about it. Just like I say to my players,
Just like
don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Alex
it.
has some money.
What are the rest of you buying? Nothing. All right, let's go. So as you leave from the school and you head to the SkyTrain, as you're arriving, you notice Lex has arrived and is coming down the steps from the station, giving you an opportunity to speak together if you wish.
I will approach him. Hey,
Oh, hi.
you done with errands? I just got out of the library with our friend here, Shaelune.
Yeah, I actually have to go find Shaelune because apparently for us to get the research money, she has to do more homework.
Oh, she will be so about that. Yes, that's a great answer. Oh, she's in the stacks in the library. I don't know which stacks. She said stacks, and then I decided to go check out the ground ship. But that's where you will find her.
I'm just gonna assume where the most books are on the floor.
The most books, yes.
Good luck. I hope it's fun. I've never ridden one. I don't know.
I mean, it's a ship. I like ships. Yeah, it should be good.
Also, make sure Rojelio's okay.
Of course, always. Gotta check in on your boy.
All right. And with that, you separate and part ways. Perunyia getting onto the SkyTrain, heading, as it were,
Enrique headquarters, correct?
to Starrike, yes. In the Silver Yard. Okay, there we go. That ride doesn't take too long, maybe about 20 minutes, and you arrive and make your way to Starrike. As you're approaching, you see that there is a open area near the building where you see a large red wagon that has a Rojelio sitting in it, but instead of being drawn by horses, it is definitely a horseless carriage. And Rojelio seems to be just kind of maneuvering this thing throughout this area.
Leo, is this our ship?
Danny, does Carrie have a horn?
Yes.
Awesome. I definitely blow the horn as I see
Oh.
Perunyia and drive up. Yes, this is Carrie. I kind of like put a hand on the seat and pat it.
Okay. It doesn't have sails. I don't know. In my mind, it had sails.
No, this one just has wheels that spin.
But it doesn't get any advantages with wind? No. Oh, okay. So not that kind of ship. Got it.
It's built semi-aerodynamic, I'd say.
It is a block.
Is the front flat? I don't remember.
It is a block, but you say that.
Cuts through the wind like butter. Yeah, it is. Wow, look at that picture of it.
I think it'll hold our luggage. Dru was concerned about being in close quarters. This is close quarters. Everyone just sits there. I guess it's not like sleeping compartments. Yeah, this will be a great trip. I think it's going to be a good bonding experience for all of us.
No, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Carrie rides for peace. I mean, what other ground ship would you want to be in that you can trust?
I've never been in a ground ship, so I don't know. How's the leg room?
I mean, there's plenty of leg room as up in the front there, and I kind of move my legs around a little bit, and like one other person can sit next to me. That's plenty of leg room, and then I guess everybody else can kind of just sit legs flat in the back if you stack them nicely. Panabon's
So
very small.
you're 6'7", I'm 6'5". Maybe I'll sit up front with you. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
you have to call it.
Oh, you get to call it? I can definitely call it because I'm here before everybody else.
That's fair. I guess it's yours permanently now.
How does one call it? Do I just declare that I get it?
I haven't put much thought into it, honestly, but I think that that sounds like a good rule set.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. I call it.
Done.
Oh,
History is written.
Okay. If he pauses, I will clamber up there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd bring Carrie to a stop, and Perunyia can get on too.
Do I need to roll a dex to get up there? The camel memories are coming back. I don't know.
Oh God!
You know
rolled
what?
Like 6 times
Just-
to hit the camel.
Just
Okay.
because
I don't see steps up.
just because you have a nervousness, roll athletics.
Okay. Athletics, I should be able to do this. It's dex that I worry about.
Oh, you rolled 6 times for that camel. Oh.
I did.
It's fine. It's maybe not as graceful as you would have liked, but you get up there without too much trouble.
I see
Absolutely.
Perunyia struggle up. I'm like, we could maybe ask that Flint guy if he can put like a step
Don't
in there.
you dare ask Flint anything. I'm
Say
fine.
less.
Flint's fine. I don't need help from Flint.
Absolutely. Nothing will
no.
be asked of Flint.
I love that Rojelio and I are on the same page about Flint.
So the vehicle, it's one of the things that maybe hasn't been developed fully by this time is a really nice suspension. And so you do feel all the bumps as you roll over them.
That's the road to peace.
It's the road to peace. It is paved with, it is maybe not paved yet. And it's interesting. There's this consistent, like, kind of clicking, whirring noise coming from the engine as all the gears inside are spinning from being wound up. But other than that, it goes. It's got a brisk pace of about 35 miles per hour, which is pretty good, all things considered. And it'll probably turn a weeks-long journey by foot into a days-long journey.
How many feet per round is that?
We can do that math. That is probably the least exciting way we could spend our time.
5,228 divided by.
I'll rely on you, Alex, for it, because
divided by 600, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm an artist. I don't do math. Ask anyone in the chat to run with me. I'm bad at math. Poor Danny. Oh, Danny.
So yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm sure we'll get that number momentarily as we're
just gonna run over Flemgesu with our ground ship. That's gonna be the plan. That's the penultimate episode. Just running down our enemies with our ground ship.
Yes. As we're gonna run back to Lex and Shaelune. So as you enter the university, you get a sense that stacks probably means library. And so you head towards the library to see if you can find Shaelune. Moment as we... Ooh, oh, okay. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. So as you enter into the library, you find the librarian there. He looks up. Yes, can I help you?
Shaelune. Short person.
A moment. Please wait here. And with that, he turns and walks into whichever of the rooms that Shaelune had gone into currently.
Let's see. I think last time I was in... So we know that he was in Conjuration. So we'll say that, and I don't remember where I started. Maybe divinity, since we're in a divinity school.
You
Or
started
divination.
in divination.
Yeah.
You started in divination.
Okay, so I'll move on to abjuration.
Oh, across the hall to
Sure.
the other one? Okay. So with that, he does say that, I'm sorry, because you went into the East Wing. With that, he does say that you might want to check the West Wing. You go over there, and there the woman there says, "Oh, yes, one moment." And the librarian who had you had kind of that little conversation about necromancy comes in. That's the side you're on. And she says, Miss Yoon, or Miss Shaelune, there is a dragonborn in the foyer. It looks like
you can let her in.
Him. It looks like a.
Yeah.
Looks like a member of the Inquisition.
That one. He can come in.
Very well. She steps back and guides Lex into the abjuration hall.
Hey,
there's lots of books.
Where have you been? Wait, we caught up already, so now I knew where you were, so never mind. Any news from the Sunstar? As I barely look up.
That was all in character, by the way. Where have you been? Oh, wait, we caught up already. All of that's in character.
So it's funding is gonna take longer than we thought. So you have to write a proposal. But if you get it done before we leave, when he leaves, he'll hand it in person himself.
The timing is frustrating, but I guess I get it. What does the proposal need in it?
What you're researching. Probably what the money is gonna be put towards, budget-wise.
Alright, I'll get it done tonight.
Also, Minya was very helpful.
Oh, good. Good job, Minya. Thanks for helping.
We read some poetry that was okay.
Alright. Well, I'm glad Minya was helpful. At least companion-wise.
So you don't need me here, right? Because like this is a lot of reading. Like I can help carry books something if that's what you need.
Where was the Sunstar?
Back where we saw him yesterday. I also tried to find the bathroom again.
Yeah, actually, if you could carry, I'm gonna need this one and this one and
this is not gonna be nice.
You know what? I might as well just take this stack, and I just keep piling more. And I go, if you wouldn't mind taking those back to the hotel, I do have a question for the Sunstar, so I'm gonna head back over there. Unless you want to come with me, but it might be heavy to carry that 2 places.
Am I allowed to leave with these?
Yeah, it's a library. We're borrowing them.
Okay, I mean, I'll come with you.
All right. I mean, you are strong, so great. And I just gather up my things and make my little floating quill disappear. And all right, let's go. I learned more in my short stay in the stacks today, but more is always good. Always good. So,
Danny, I would like to pretend that this is not a struggle and that I am strong.
Yes. It's not so much the weight as it is just the awkwardness of carrying a stack of books. as the two of you exit together, you stop and sign out whatever books you are signing out. Now, when you do sign out books, there's no, you don't sign out anything that has actual spells in it. There are, it's mostly like theory and all that kind of thing.
It's still
like anything with
fascinating
spells
to
that you're,
me.
right. Anything that spells, you actually have to copy from within.
And might have some phrasing that I can use for citations in my proposal to the Sunstar.
Precisely. So as you leave to go talk to the Sunstar, we go back to Percy as he is walking. He doesn't seem to notice you all. Eventually, he goes. So this is quite a journey that you are taking. It starts. It starts with getting onto the SkyTrain. And from the SkyTrain, you travel south all the way down to and through Coldcrest. Eventually, he gets off and then walks, and he actually walks outside of the main city gates. There appears, from what you can see as you're approaching the city gates, to be buildings on the other side of the gates. And do you follow him outside the gates?
I mean, I'm having a good time. I was having like a little competition with myself to see how far into his line of sight I could get without being in his line of sight while we were on the SkyTrain. So like, I'm here. I'm supposed to go get stuff for our journey whenever it is, but like, it's fine. There's time to do that. This seems important, and also, when are we going to be in Castaneda again, or wherever we are now? I'm sure we can get back in the city. I'm sure they don't like shut the gates at night, and I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be great. It'll be good. We'll have a good time.
Excellent. So what about Dru?
Dru, if you have any sense of self-preservation that you don't want to do this, now is the time to stop Panabon, because otherwise it's just going to continue happening.
So before we go on the rest of this journey, Dru is going to kind of lean down and say, are you sure we should be following him out of the city? Should we go maybe tell somebody that because nobody knows where we are, and if something happens, they're not going to know where to look for us.
Well, I mean, we don't follow them, we'll probably never see him again, because like, what are the odds he'll be back at the cat cafe? Like, seize the day, carpet sees him, or whatever that phrase is.
That's a valid point. However, we don't actually know that he's gonna lead us anywhere that we want to go. Maybe he's just, I don't know, going to meet a girlfriend or something, or boyfriend, or like he might not be leading us anywhere.
Oh, I bet you want to go back to the hotel so you can wait for your boyfriend from the hospital.
She just kind of rolls her eyes. No, I just don't know that this is a good idea, because no one in our group knows where we are. And if something happens to us, they're not going to know where to find us.
I mean, I've only almost died like 4 times this year. 5 times. 5.5 times if you count that raider. You know what? It's fine. I'll put an eyeball on the wall here, and people know that when there's an eyeball somewhere, that means I painted it, because that's the sign for like when Rosalia comes back. So yeah, we'll leave an eyeball. You know what? This is fair. Let's do this. We can do. Do they have like Rochambeau in this universe? Do they have like paper, scissors, rock, something like that?
Yes.
You could rock, paper, scissors for it. Then it's like left up to the cosmos.
All right, but And I mean, I don't mean any offense by this, but how do I know that you're going to play fair?
That is fair. I can only tell you I only do this when I'm trying to be fair. Except for that one time where I like stole that parchment from old Flemmy Boy. But that was just like to teach him a lesson because he was on my nerve. He was getting on my last nerves that day. I'm always fair. It's fine. If I'm not fair, you can like point at me with your rapier or write an evil song about me or something. I don't know.
All right, but it is going to be a scathing song.
Okay. It wouldn't be the first time it would be the first song. There was that limerick once, but that's not important.
And this whole time, we haven't seen anybody else along. Like, he hasn't stopped and talked to anybody that we recognized or anything like that, right?
Not up to this point.
Okay.
As he is headed out, as you see him walking out the gate, you're having this conversation. He is sort of getting along, and he could maybe turn at any moment. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. I guess we're gonna do this.
It's so exciting. You seem very nervous.
Just a little. Just a little bit. I just don't know that this is a good idea.
You know what? I am trying to show more wisdom these days. And I feel like the first part of that was not stabbing him, so if you don't think it's a good idea, I will listen to you. Because I can bring down the system another day.
All right, but how about we compromise? How about we go to the gate and we watch him to see where he goes outside the gate, but we don't actually leave unless we see something suspicious.
Sure.
All right, so that's what we're going to do. We'll go to the gate and watch to see where he goes. And if we don't see anything that we feel like we need to investigate, then we will turn around and go back.
Also, he's just like really not paying attention to the worlds around him. Like, I tried so hard to be in his line of sight. Like, he's not doing a very good job. Like,
He's
that
not.
made me kind of sad for him. Like, just a little sad.
Or he's not doing anything that he feels like he needs to keep a lookout for.
That also makes me sad. Like, have some pride in your organizational deceit, you know? That's what happens when you centralize being evil. You know, you lose the zest and the verve. Well, not evil, but like, you know, it's just not zesty. Centralized badness is just not zesty.
If I ever become evil, I'll make sure that I am full of zest, just for you.
But like the right kind of zest. Don't like go the way Flemmy has gone. Like, that's not good villain zest. That's just, it's not letting people live their lives. Like, a good bad guy like does their thing, but like also just doesn't get in the way of other people living their lives. Like, there's no reason to take over the universe. What would you want all that for? It's just a hassle, you know?
I'll make sure I have the right kind of zest, I promise.
There we go.
Okay.
First, bearing in mind, that might be why Shaelune almost set me on fire that one. If I think about it really hard.
As you approach the gate, and kind of stop looking, kind of watching, there are a couple of soldiers, guards. They watch you approach, and it looks like they're expecting to walk out, and it looks like they're expecting to say something to you. But then when you stop, they kind of like, oh, and then they're kind of like, so now they're paying attention to what's outside the gate, but also kind of like watching you, like in case you're gonna leave, because it looks like there's something they need to do if you leave. Hard to say, but they do. They're not like paying attention to you in a way that makes you feel you're under like investigation or examination, but more in this like nervous, like, what are they going to do? Oh my goodness, we got to be ready for what they do kind of thing. It's more awkward than anxiety inducing. But you see, Percy, he does stop at, there is what appears to be a market. There's fruits and vegetables and stuff, and he stops there. And as he does so, you see someone come out. There's some discussion between them. Looks like there's like some hello, how's the day kind of discussion going on. And as he is like throwing away his to-go cup and whatever garbage in this person's garbage that's out there, they go back inside. He kind of just waits outside, looks around, uh, looks at one of the. There's several there's like stalls outside too as well with goods on them. Looks like maybe fruits and vegetables. Maybe it's a market. He does grab. Looks like he grabs a fruit, some round fruit from one of the uh, stands there, and just helps himself to it. Um, After a few more moments, the person comes out. He does not bother to put away this fruit. And if they notice, they don't say anything. They have something that they give to him. They're making some effort to keep it upright, but it looks like it's covered and wrapped. And then give me a perception check, each of you.
Oh, this is what I need all the wisdom for.
He does not appear to pay. As a matter of fact, the person appears to give him an envelope, and then says they. It looks like they're saying their goodbyes quickly, and then he kind of continues down the street a little ways before making a turn off to the right and out of sight.
Probably a dead body. Oh well, we'll find out next time.
You don't want to. You don't want to go find out what they gave him.
I mean, I feel like then we're gonna have to talk to soldiers. And do you really want to talk to soldiers?
I never want to talk to soldiers.
Yeah, like
All
that's the
right.
other side of the scale.
All right. I guess maybe we should go back then.
We should probably also start doing some price shopping for things for the trip. Like,
Yeah.
because if I'm going to be a responsible human being, as it were, might as well be a responsible human being. I hate that phrase. They never say a responsible gnome. Always responsible human being. I don't know what that is. I don't like it. No offense.
None taken. All right. Well, I guess let's go shopping for supplies.
As you turn and leave, the two guards there like just kind of watch you go, and then when it appears like you may not be exiting, they kind of turn back towards watching the way and ignoring you.
Although I do make a mental note that there is. Would you call that? Would you call the place where he went to more seedy or more like how does it differ from Castanede other than being on the outside of the Castanede walls?
Okay, well, first of all, Cold Crest itself seems like a less seems more like a normal city. So like East Home is really clean. Sunny Peak, where like the hotel is and where like the diplomats' houses are, like that's extra clean. It's like they have people that literally go around and like scrub everything. Silver Yard is where the both Starike and Heavenly Sequence offices are, and that's like really nice industrial. Cold Crest is the kind of industrial where like, look, man, we're running things, we're building things, we're like living. Sometimes things don't get cleaned up right away. Like that's Cold Crest, right? So it's not dirty or gross or anything, but it's not kept up to the same degree that the other areas are. And the area that was outside of Cold Crest, on the other side of the gate, it just looks like a place where people have maybe set up to like um it would be akin to like a Flying J or one of those truck stops, right? You're on the freeway. There's places that like
Yes.
service people. So this would be like a place to like service folks who are coming in or out of the city, like a last chance to grab something on your way out or like to grab something on your way in or whatever. Like taking advantage of the fact that like you're about to go in the city, maybe you've been traveling and you really want some apples. Well, we got some apples here. You don't have to wait till like you get into the city to get them, kind of thing. Or if people are leaving and they're like, oh shit, I forgot my toothbrush, they could buy a toothbrush here, kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting. I filed all that information away for later. Right as the dagger swiftly impales the centralized system of crime in fair Castamy. I am vengeance. I am the knight in Panabon.
So there is this slight under their breath mumbling of this that Dru kind of hears, like the imaginings that go on in Panabon's head.
She just keeps going, doesn't even comment. Pretend like
I'm
she
a
didn't hear
Michael Keaton
anything.
Batman. I am a Michael Keaton Batman.
All right, as we will jump to Shaelune and Lex, you have arrived at, once again, the Heavenly Sequence offices.
I kind of absentmindedly am still talking about everything I've learned from the morning, and not even paying attention to the guards as I just kind of walk through to the room where I'm going.
As you walk through, Lex with Shaelune, the receptionist does look up. Well, wait, I should.
It's okay. We're back. Well, I'm back.
I mean, I can go and inform them that you're as you're walking. The guards don't seem to stop anybody, but the receptionist does seem very like, oh my goodness, you're just walking right past. But also, given the previous interaction with you and how everyone just kind of came down and gave you the time of day, like doesn't want to be the person to tell you to fucking stop, like doesn't want to be that person. You can see it's very conflicting. Like there's my job, and then there's kind of like what's going on.
And then there was this book about the theory behind abjuration that kind of, as people were discovering their powers, how to put the thought behind it in order to explore more and categorize it as such as abjuration. And as I'm still walking through the room,
give me, Shaelune, we call it a charisma saving throw. As you were walking, the receptionist kind of stops, which that triggers Lex to kind of look, and then as absent-mindedly as Shaelune is walking, she actually just plows into somebody as they come around a corner.
Oh, sorry, don't yell at me, after Arturus.
As you look up, it is Kong. It is the assistant to the Sunstar, the one from the airship. As he looks down at you.
As I do that, my face just
reaches down a hand as if to help you up.
I very nervously take it.
His expression is completely flat as he lifts you, not hard, not overly gently, but with enough force to get you up. Pardon me. I assume you are visiting the Sunstar.
Yes.
I want to answer too, but I want to say, kind of start babbling a little bit again and say, yes, actually, there's some questions and and I kind of like throw out a curse but the curse is my verbal component for detect thoughts.
All right. He says, very well, follow me, as he turns and starts to lead. You have cast this spell, and as you are following, mostly the surface thoughts are this is the second interruption to the Sunstar's work today. Hopefully he won't get behind in the stuff he's doing. I'm glad that she accepted my assistance to help her to her feet, because that would have been really awkward if she hadn't.
No, I can't wait to slice her throat later or anything like that. So that's what I was looking for there.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Okay, cool. Good news. I'll drop the spell.
And as he makes his way up, he does knock on the door. There is a pause, and then in Daywol, you hear a word barked out. One of the few languages that Shaelune does not speak or understand. But you get a sense that it's come in.
Yeah.
So the door opens as he walks past the two guards that are flanking on the outside, the Jean guards on the outside. He announces your presence, and there's another kind of short back and forth, and then he turns, Kong turns and says, please, and gestures for you to enter.
I'll walk in. I try for like politely confident but deferential, and it just probably looks real awkward, like toe heel walk, like trying to be fancy and not being fancy.
Yes. As you enter the Sunstar stands, to Lex, Kong looks at you and all the books you're carrying. Would you like me to take those?
No. Lex is just gonna walk in behind Shaelune.
He nods and then turns to face Sunstar. The Sunstar has stood and says something in Daywol to Kong, who nods, closes the door, and as he exits, leaving the two of you alone with the Sunstar. The Sunstar looks to Lex, kind of cants his head a little bit. That is a lot of books you have.
For the research proposal, I assume. I have no idea.
Well, the proposal, but also the research I'm doing is whether or not I get the assistance is, it's hard to slow me down.
I see. Please have a seat.
I clamber into the chair. Sorry to bother you. I know Lex came to see you already, but Perunyia and I, we did the divination ritual on the sword and also on the crown. Both overwhelming histories took us aback. How did you recognize her sword?
Oh, it is important in my station to be able to recognize when magic is being brought into my vicinity, so that I'm not surprised, or that the guards are not surprised. we tend to be able to note magic. It is a function built into our.
Oh, that's really clever. As her brain starts going a mile a minute about masks that could do various things for her at all times.
Magic items.
Magic items. She kind of shakes her head after a second and goes, so along with the sword, the crown has a remarkable history.
Made by elves, I believe.
Yeah, blue elves. Was really interesting. Is that a specific segment of elfism that colors the skin blue in the Shadow Fae that you're aware of, or this was pre-Shadow Fae, I guess?
Our knowledge of elves is, of course, limited, as it is for everybody. We did fully believe that elves existed in the days before the pre-cataclysm, until magic returned, and we were able to divine some of the magic items that we had in our possession. Eventually, their history was mostly lost to us, but we do believe that there were, much as there are ethnic groups amongst humans, amongst the orcs, we do believe that there were ethnic groups amongst the elves as well.
Fascinating.
Indeed.
I kind of side-eye Lex before because I want to ask questions that it is not appropriate to ask right now. The crown as well is I mean a supremely old item and powerful. I'm just not clear on why you would part with such a gift.
The measure of my sorrow at having slighted you is represented in the value of the gift.
I mean, that's a lot of sorrow.
I was quite aghast to learn what had happened.
I am often dismayed at the intentions and concerns of people in positions of power, and so to learn the value beyond financial value that behind this item was remarkable to discover, and that stands to reflect highly on your position and your thoughts toward this. But I thank you very, very much.
I will note that the rarity of such items may appear different to you than to us. Consider, as I said, that each of the Jean possess this mask.
Fascinating.
For me, the value is less in the magic of the artifact, but more in the history that I have shared. I simply have no use for it, as in our research, we have learned that one can carry and make use of only so many powerful artifacts. And so the tools I have at my disposal that I prefer to use have made the crown itself of value only in its history and literal existence. The magic itself is of no use. However, the magic will be of use to you, but the gift is in the history and the item. If that makes sense.
It does. And not that it's your responsibility to educate me on your country or culture. It just makes me strongly desire someday to visit Danang and learn of its history and its people. Hopefully someday. Hopefully I have an opportunity in this lifetime.
I'm sure that when you have finished your business, the unpleasant business you have with the troubles with perhaps Lex had mentioned this high priest or this fellow Artaris. When your troubles are done there, perhaps there will be a time.
What do you know of Artaris and Flamgesu?
Well, of Artaris, nothing, unfortunately. He is apparently some aristocrat from Ineland, of one of the nations. It is not someone who has entered my circle of I hesitate to say it this way, but as a member of Ineland's society, he is beneath my notice, or has been beneath my notice, in terms of the privileges that he has grown up with. Now, if he were a skilled magician and made himself known to me, I perhaps would pay attention to such a thing. But I've honestly never heard of such a man. The High Priest Flumgesu is not someone I know personally, but I am very wary of the priests of Palakun. They have long called on a deity that has done little to answer them, and I believe use that to hold power in a way that perhaps is unwarranted. That said, I am interested to see how that changes in their society, given the return of magic and potentially the return of gods.
Thank you for your time yesterday and today, and I'll have that proposal to you by tomorrow morning.
Very good. You can leave it with the receptionist or with either of my assistants if you do not find me.
Thank you.
With that, he stands, walks you to the door. As he opens it, you see Kang is standing out there. Also, the Jaekyol is the other assistant. They're both out there. And the Sunstar says, I believe Jaekyol will see you out.
Good to meet you and talk to you if I do not see you again.
I hope we do. And with that, he returns back into his office. The Khan closes it as behind him as he goes in, and Jaekyol leads you down the stairs.
I send a message to Lex and say, part of me really wants to trust him enough to tell him what's going on and ask for help. But this is also a man who attacked a train to take research from another businessman. How much honor really is there?
Lex, can I respond?
You can.
I wouldn't trust him. I'll explain more outside.
I'll just give like a small nod next to her or next to him without looking.
Yeah, J. Kill leads you downstairs, and as she gets to the bottom, she's like, she looks at Lex. Would you like to have those delivered back to your hotel? You seem. It seems awkward.
Shaelune, would you like them delivered back to the hotel?
Yeah, are they too heavy?
Lex is just
I'm
like
sorry.
walking around. With
No,
all the books.
they're not heavy. I'm not as strong as Perunyia.
I'm sorry. Yes, please. If you wouldn't mind.
Lex
J. Kill
awkwardly
nods.
hands them.
She actually like takes several of them and puts them on the desk with the receptionist, and then speaks to the receptionist in Daywall, and the receptionist nods and looks like she starts like writing stuff down to make sure that
That's
it is
the
delivered.
poet.
Oh. You feel like you whisper that, and I like do a really loud "oh."
Enjoy the day, J.K. says as she turns and heads back inside. The receptionist is already like has put on like a headset and pulled up a little microphone and is like plugs into her like little patchboard and is like seems like she's calling somebody for to get the books and deliver them.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
You exit, and after some time, find you are far enough away. You can also, if you like, make a perception check to see if you're being followed or anything like that.
I'm so good at those.
That was pretty good.
I did
Not
okay.
gonna lie.
Yeah. Well done. Once again, if you roll a nat 20 on a skill check, you do get an inspiration that you can use at some time. So Lex has inspiration that you can use on a roll. There is, yeah, they've apparently no one's following you. No one's looking at you or paying attention to you.
You know, I've run into this group before. I don't think they have malicious intentions. I also don't know that they are the most transparent people. Speaking as someone who is not very transparent themselves.
I guess they do trade in secrets and steal them, so... Alright. So, is there a legend back home about blue elves?
Is there a legend back home about blue elves?
You have not ever seen a blue elf.
Am I aware of the coloration differences that occur, though, as
among
a
elves?
yellow person?
So
there's nothing wrong with being yellow. It says the buttercup yellow gnome of the group, even though
the normal skin tone of elves in terms of ethnicity, there are, to what you understand, there are 2 courts of elves that reside in the Shadow Fae, and there's not necessarily like a skin tone divide between the 2 courts. One does tend to have more lighter skinned elves, but there are still plenty of darker skinned elves among them. but their skin tones run the gamut of sort of human skin tones.
Mm.
So there are, there are black elves, there are very pale white elves, there are tan elves, bronze elves, etc. In terms of skin tones. No blue elves.
Blue? No, but I would also believe I just found out recently that elves are from here. So,
Well, interesting day. I'm for once my brain is tired.
wait, your
Uh,
brain's not usually tight. You're always reading.
I mean, I do have to get a proposal done today, but maybe a bit of a break first. I wonder how the others are doing with their tasks today.
What were Panabon and Dru doing?
They were gonna check if was it them checking if Phoebe was okay? Was that the? I can't remember what we
No,
were told at the
they're
beginning.
checking on the vehicle.
I thought
Rogelio? Or
Rogelio
no,
was doing the
no,
vehicle.
I'm sorry. Perunyia, Panabon and Dru, they were going to
Are they looking for snacks?
look for snacks.
Road
We
trip
were doing
supplies?
snacks and other sundry things to be done.
Should we help them? I feel like snacks are probably relaxing. Also, maybe so Panabon doesn't steal and get us kicked out.
Well, that's not the part. Um, I, I mean this as affectionately as I can, but finding Panabon does not sound like a break or relaxing to me.
That is a good point. Would you rather I find them and then you do something relaxing?
Perhaps I'll just I'll go to the hotel and take a nap
Okay.
before I get to work.
Do you want me to take Minya again?
Sure.
Or is Minya staying with you?
Something about Lex, Minya really likes.
Aw.
Hard to say what it is.
It's the wishing. It's the wish giving.
Your shadow friends.
Yeah, it's nice to have something that reminds me of home.
Minya reminds me of home too. Well,
Are you from the Shadow Fae? Like, Lex
no,
looks really confused.
no. We met. Minya and I met when I was still able to live at home.
I'm sorry that we kind of ruined it, so you can't really go home.
It's not you guys that did.
I mean, I know that you also have trouble trusting us to go back to.
I don't know who to trust and what's. It seems no matter how tight I try to hold on to control or how much I let it slip between my fingers, things are going to happen the way they happen anyway. But I just, as much as possible, would like my family to stay safe. If they are. At least I know my professor made it out of Palacoon okay. But anyway, this is sad. This is a break. This is relaxing. It's been a good day of lots of learning. I'm gonna go clear my head.
Okay, it is also okay to be sad during breaks. Sometimes that helps.
Yeah, but it's the fear of if I let it start, when will it stop? And I can't afford that long of a break. Just an hour or two.
Well, if you ever want to talk about it, I mean, I'm not probably the closest person, but I'm happy to listen.
Thanks, Lex.
I'll have to go find my child's other parent.
That's
And Lex is gonna go off.
really weird. Yeah.
As you return to the hotel, then speaking of Lex's child, eventually the driving around all day, you feel like you got a strong handle on it. You also feel the Nazores fuel is running down, and that the vehicle is about to run out of a gas, as it were.
I will definitely make sure that we get it back to the garage. Also noting about how long I was out there so they can get an accurate, measurement of this much Nazoras equals this much drive time.
Right.
But bring it back and report that and say goodbye to
Um,
Carrie and leave them there
I
for
can
safekeeping.
push if we need to.
I'm trying not to push Carrie to the point where we have to push.
Is it my weight? Do I need to get off? Would it be better if I walked alongside you?
No, it's kind of like pushing a boat in the water. Like we don't want to
Yeah,
get to
that's
the
why
point
I
where you
thought
have to
there was
swim to
maybe
push the boat.
sails, because
Mhm.
that yeah, bad design choice.
But yeah, we'll drive it back into the garage before that, before it runs out.
Yeah, you park it in the garage. It's middle of the afternoon at this point. There's nobody around. Oddly, it just seems like they let you just kind of cruise around. There are other sorts of vehicles in this garage. There are ones that look more suited to like the seats, the city streets. They're like more small. They're enclosed. There is an odd like two-wheeled vehicle with the wheels are in line with each other, aka motorcycle. Um, all of it very rudimentary, very early designs. But this garage has a few vehicles in it. Everything else is kind of put away. There is a small carriage that has it's like two wheels on each side. It's like a trailer. It looks like it would fit the back of this truck, and so Rogelio, you recall that Callus had said something about maybe a trailer as well. Um, but yeah, no one else is around in this garage.
Can I take a moment to inspect the other vehicles like the same way I did with Carrie? Not like talk to them, just like kind of like look at them and get a better understanding of like do they also run on like Nazora's core or like how they, how they're made, how they work.
Right. So go ahead, give me a wisdom check, just a straight up wisdom check.
Right up.
Oh
Hey,
snap!
wise. I get it, machine.
All right. None of the other vehicles have been installed with the Nozora's battery, if you will. It seems like Flint's understanding of it helped to put it on to carry, but other than that, none of the other vehicles has that. They're all some sort of mechanical wind up. They don't take any sort of fuel. They all seem well enough built. They seem mostly as sturdy as the truck in terms of how well they're built. That's mostly what you get out of it. As you are approaching the truck again, Carrie, you do get and you hear the winding is sort of like it's like the end of the wind as the Nizora is kind of fading out the last of it, and the winding is kind of winding down. You can hear it like slowing, just kind of sputtering almost to a stop. You feel a sort of a pull in the direction of the vehicle. Um, like something is kind of like maybe if you had like a string that was kind of in you and someone's kind of tugging it and kind of pulling it slowly out. So like you just feel kind of like pulled in that direction a little bit.
Oop. Gotta say goodbye to my little brother before we leave. So I go over and say goodbye to Carrie.
So you give in to the sensation.
Mhm.
Suddenly,
Uh-oh.
the sputtering of the turning gears actually stops, like it starts to smooth out and start to speed up, and it kind of like it feels reinvigorated, uh, is what how you would describe it. And you can see from sort of the front that the Nazora's engine is running the the vehicle, even though the stone within seems to be no more, like it seems to still be drained. I have expent a first level spell slot from your character sheet.
Ew. Oh man, I'm fuel.
I'm
What
fueled.
are you
I'm
doing?
fuel. I didn't. Nothing. I came over to say goodbye to Carrie. I thought that was the. I thought that's what they wanted.
Carrie is the ground ship? Is that what we're
Yes.
calling it? Oh,
Yes. Carry big lots. Like carry big lots of
oh, oh,
lots. Carry
oh,
yeah, big lots. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Did Carrie come up with that name?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Of course, you can choose your own name. That's how I was told it was done.
yeah,
No.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Can you clarify something for me? Do you actually talk to machines? Like, I don't know. Do they talk back? I don't know if I understand this.
Yeah, of course. They talk to me just as we're talking now.
Oh, oh. Well, I mean, I don't see why not. Your machine, their machine. I speak Draconic. Why not speak machine?
Yeah,
Fernia's a little
exactly.
overwhelmed, but is trying to be like she's so cool and totally understands what's going on.
I put a hand on Carrie, and they're such a conversationalist. I mean, it's hard not to talk to
Yeah,
somebody like that.
right. Carrie is she's he
Carrie.
they are great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, I'll have to talk to them tomorrow about whatever just happened now. We'll that we'll have to speak about that later. But other than
Is
that,
Carrie okay with us writing on her? In her? Is is that like okay with her?
yeah, absolutely, as long as it's for peace. Carrie has
Oh.
purpose.
Can we define peace in a little bit more detail?
No war.
War with armies, right?
I technically defined it as machines breaking other machines.
Oh, in which case we're great with that. Yeah, no machines breaking other machines. Got it.
That's fine. Carrie rides for that.
Okay, cool.
And that's where we will end today's session with the.
I fully thought that was gonna be like a Christine moment, and Crave was just gonna open their jaws, and like you were gonna get like eaten by the motor. Fully thought we were going Christine in that direction. Was not expecting that.
Yes. No, and I was just looking at Rojelio's sort of class abilities from the particular subclass and realized that there's no reason why Rogelio couldn't just expend a spell slot to power the engine. So that
So
is
you
a thing
took
that
it from me. No.
Carrie just
and
showed you how to do it.
yeah,
Mhm.
you either gave into it or you could have resisted and not done it, and then
What's
you
there to
still
resist
wouldn't have.
about Carrie?
Yeah, come on, it's scary.
Scary. Come on.
Yeah, so with that, we will close out as Perunyia and Rojelio sort of discuss the ethics of machine on machine war violence. And as Shaelune heads home to the hotel, Lex goes out to find Panabon and Dru, who are going to do some shopping for the journey ahead.
We're going shopping. All right, super sister. Keep going.
And so with that, we will close out, and we'll be back next week. Everybody's good next week. We're all good next week. We'll be back next week, like clockwork.
Good night, everybody.